So bhai, let's start with exchange traded funds, ETF. What are ETF? Okay, let me put it this way. I'll just like straight away tell you my confusion. They say exchange traded mutual funds are like closed ended index mutual funds. बोलो.
सर इधर भी इन्वेस्टर्स के साथ ही हम लोग करते हैं क्या?
Okay, that's a good highlight. Yeah, exchange traded funds you can buy and sell in the secondary market, in the ETF market. So first floor stock market, second floor closed ended mutual fund market, third floor ETF market. I mean different product, different market, right? You can't go to fruit market and buy in vegetables, right?
हाँ.
जज कर लेगा भैया जी तुमको. So yeah, Dev.
Yes, sir.
Your name is Dev Krishna, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Double god. Cool. पता भाई, how is ETF different than closed-ended mutual fund, index mutual fund? Because they say they are pretty much the same. Then what's the point of
So,
having ETF in the market if they are same, right?
because ETFs can also like be tracking a particular sector, for example, or a commodity. Then
Well
that's
then, well then, let me compare that ETF with a particular close-ended FMCG fund, mutual fund.
okay.
Then how are they different? जरूरत क्या है? अगर तेरे पास म्यूचुअल फंड है जो इंडेक्स को ट्रैक कर रहा है, देर आर म्यूचुअल फंड जो एफएमसीजी को ट्रैक कर रहा है, तो ईटीएफ का जरूरत क्या है? हाउ आर दे
Right.
डिफरेंट?
So because you can trade it like how you trade
ETF is
equity, right?
You can trade how you.
How we trade equity, sir. मतलब so एक दिन
That's why I use the word close-ended, because you can also buy and sell close-ended mutual funds.
okay.
in ETFs, you can like buy many different stocks and stuff, but in close-ended, it's only like a specific sector.
No. Then I'll just kind of elaborate again. There are, let's say I'm comparing. See, if I'm comparing an ETF which is investing in index, then my question is, how is that different than close-ended index mutual fund? If I'm talking about an ETF which is investing in, let's say, FMCG, then my question is, how is that ETF different than close-ended FMCG mutual fund? I am just questioning the existence of ETF.
So one of the reasons being is that exchange traded funds charge a lesser fee
Oh,
compared
you
to
are 100% correct.
right.
But how? Why?
That's because they are more on a passive basis.
नहीं,
It's not
गलत 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 गलत. अगर तू पैसिव का बात कर रहा है तो स्टिल आई एम कंपेयरिंग पैसिव ओनली. ETF passive index fund versus close-ended index mutual fund. They both are passive. But then your statement says that ETF, which is tracking an index, passive, का fees कम है
okay.
as compared to closed-ended index mutual fund. That's not an answer.
Okay.
I hope I'm making a rational discussion over here. I'm not asking you to agree because I'm your teacher. I'm asking you to agree because it sounds logical.
Right. Right.
Or counter if you don't agree with me. Either you convince me or either I convince you. That's pretty much how the whole life will go.
Sir, it could be exchanged with the individual's portfolio of other investors. Individual portfolio of other investors.
Can you please elaborate again? I was not able to
Other individual portfolios of other investors.
other individual portfolios of other investors. But that's not answering my question. कि दोनों में फ़र्क क्या है? Close-ended mutual fund और ETF में. चलो तो फिर.
ETF is backed by physical security.
इंडेक्स म्यूचुअल फंड इज ऑल्सो. पैसा लेके बास्केट में डालता है दोनों. दोनों बास्केट में पैसा डालता है. Sorry, I had paused the recording. I'll just reiterate what you're saying. You're trying to say that it is the maturity which is defining or distinguishing mutual fund and ETF. Then
That is one of the factors.
no, there is only one factor which is differentiating them, and that
Okay.
factor is good enough to differentiate them.
ETF is traded at
And
NAV.
just a second, huh? Yeah, I'll just come back to. You are right. I'll just come back to that point. Uh, and once you understand that reason which is differentiating between ETF and mutual funds, every other information which you see on internet will fall in place. One of the information is ETF are cheaper, less fees. You're right. And then this guy just mentioned that ETF are typically bought and sold at NAV. Right? You just said that, Aditya. You're right about
So
it.
Sir,
the
demand and supply. Based on demand and supply, the prices.
Demand and supply, the prices. Can you like add more points to that? What you just said. You might be going in the right direction.
so ETFs have unlimited supply, but close-ended index mutual funds have limited supply.
Oh yeah, that is also another difference. बात हो ना close ended mutual fund 1 lakh units outstanding forever, the doors are closed, simple. But in ETF there is not necessary. There could be 1 lakh units outstanding, 2 lakh units outstanding in the market, 5 lakh, 50,000, whatever. That is another difference. तो भाई ये रहा डिफरेंस बिटवीन ETF एंड म्यूचुअल फंड्स, स्पेसिफिकली स्पीकिंग क्लोज एंडेड म्यूचुअल फंड. कहाँ पे जाऊँ मैं? जगह है क्या? हाँ जगह है. The difference is the structures, people. The difference is the structures. You see, mutual fund, whether it is closed or open-ended mutual fund, they bichare investors. They don't have money, they don't have time, they don't have authority to invest, so they invest in the pool. And only once the money is there in the pool, it is only thereafter the fund manager will invest. The fund manager could invest in the index. The fund manager would invest in the FMCG, like tracking a particular sector, what they was talking about. The fund manager could invest in like large cap, whatever it is. And here's the thing, when they invest in the pool, that's when the fund manager is giving them the units. Units which proves that they are the owner, part owner of the pool, right? And listen to me very carefully about ETF, because most of the MBAs do not know the difference between mutual fund and ETF. So hear me out very well. And by the way, this explanation is not there in any of your books. If you care to think logically, you'll always get an answer. You know what? There are entities who also invest in index, in FMCG or a particular sector, or maybe a large cap or something like that. But you know what? They don't take money from the investors to make that investment. These entities are called AP. Authorized participants.
Okay.
AP.
So, wouldn't that be?
एक मिनट अभी मैं थोड़ा जोन में आ गया, मेरे को खाली अच्छा तू बोल दे पूछ ले सवाल.
So wouldn't that be institutions, hedge funds, and all
That's
of
where
that?
I've course coming to. Authorized participants are. So guys, these authorized participants, who are these people? HNIs. These are institutional investors like Deutsche Bank, Goldman Sachs. These are the people who are not taking money from anyone. They are removing the money from their own pocket and investing in index. Are you getting it? But then, इन्वेस्ट करने से ETF कैसे पैदा हुआ? नहीं हुआ पैदा. देख, म्यूचुअल फंड का यूनिट्स पैदा कैसे हुआ? रेड कलर. इन्वेस्टर ने इन्वेस्ट किया पूल में, बदले में फंड मैनेजर ने उसको यूनिट्स दिया. दैट इज हाउ द म्यूचुअल फंड यूनिट्स गॉट क्रिएटेड. The next question should be and would be is ETF units. How are they created? You know what? Let's say the entities these authorized participants, they have taken their own money and created an index, or they have created a basket of securities. Let's say there are 30 securities in it, and let's say the value of this basket is $1 lakh. And then these authorized participants will enter into a barter transaction. You know barter? One cow is equal to 3 sheep. So they enter into a barter transaction. They take that basket and go somewhere. That somewhere or some entity is called sponsor, or let me put it this way, AMC, Asset Management Company. Okay. And then this AMC, in return, what is the value of this basket? It is $1 lakh. So in return, AMC will give them 1,000 ETF units, and each unit will be worth $100. 100 into 1,000, 1 lakh. Barter, make sense? All of you? And later, it is the green color part is this on this table, on this the structure, or the, you see, are you getting it? And later this 1,000 units are then given to the members or the investors in the exchanges. And once the members and the investors in the stock exchange, secondary market, when they buy these 1,000 units, that is when they keep on buying and selling to each other. Are you getting it? All of you? Did you see how differently ETF units are created as compared to mutual fund units? But then this explanation is not answering two questions. How is ETF charging less fees as compared to mutual funds? Another question, how is ETF market price typically equal to NAV? And by the way, can I say in this case, green color, the NAV of the ETF is $100. You know, $1 lakh divided by 1,000 ETF units, right? And tomorrow, if the value of this basket, let's say from 1 lakh, it becomes 2 lakhs, can I say the value or the NAV of this ETF from 100 will become 200? Can I say the NAV of ETF will change every moment? Because the value of the basket will change every moment. Barabar. So the second question, the first question is, why is ETF cheaper as investment? And why is market price of ETF typically equal to NAV? ये दोनों सवाल, both these statements are mentioned in a syllabus, but the answer is not mentioned in the syllabus. So hear me out very well. Achha, do you acknowledge this question? Does it make sense to talk about it? I mean, are you able to relate with this question? Would you also have it? इतने परेशान है बेचारे, हाँ भी नहीं बोल पा रहे, ना भी नहीं बोल पा रहे. Presuming that you agree with this question, let me answer these questions. यार तुम लोग को उधर ही मेरे को पकड़ लेना चाहिए. देख, म्यूचुअल फंड ब्लू कलर, वहाँ पे फंड मैनेजर को फायदा क्या है? वो ये सब काम क्यों कर रहा है? बदले में उसको फीस मिल रहा है, करके वो ये सब कर रहा है, बराबर है? तो ये ऑथराइज पार्टिसिपेंट ये सब क्यों कर रहा है? सवाल बनता है ना. और ये एएमसी ये क्या कर रहा है पिक्चर में? वो भी तो सवाल बनना चाहिए. यार सिंपल यार, बिजनेस के हिसाब से सोचो. तुम लोग ये सब, अगर तुमको बोलूं कि मैं बार्टर करके दे, एक हाथ बास्केट देता हूं, मैं बोलता हूं कि भाई तू एक काम कर, प्रिंट करके मुझे 1000 यूनिट दे, तुम बोले क्या को करूँ ये सब? मैं, तुमको मन में सवाल नहीं आता है? मेरा क्या फायदा? ये कोई चैरिटी बिजनेस थोड़ी ना जो करने बैठे हो. हाँ बाय द वे, इसमें इन्वेस्टर का फायदा है. इन्वेस्टर के पास उतना पैसा नहीं होगा. कौन सा? सेकेंडरी इन्वेस्टर. उसके पास पैसा नहीं होगा कि वो $1 लाख का पूरा बास्केट खरीदे. अरे यार, किसी का $1 लाख का इनकम नहीं होता है. हाँ, पर वो $100 का खरीद सकता है. कल $1 लाख 2 लाख हो गया तो बंदे का $100 $200 हो जाएगा. कम से कम उसको बास्केट जैसा रिटर्न तो मिलेगा कम भाव में. तो जो अल्टीमेट इन्वेस्टर जो है, रिटेल इन्वेस्टर, उसके लिए बहुत फायदा है ETF. पर ऑथोराइज पार्टिसिपेंट का इसमें क्या फायदा? एएमसी का क्या फायदा? अब सवाल समझा क्या है तो होना चाहिए मन में. जवाब देता हूँ. हाँ, सबसे पहले एएमसी का फायदा क्या है यार? टिपिकली ये जो एएमसी है ना, ऑथराइज पार्टिसिपेंट को एक फीस चार्ज करता है. more like a management fees and all. तो करके ये AMC ये सब करने बैठता है. सवाल ये कि AMC का ज़रूरत क्या है? अरे बहुत सिंपल है ना यार. मैं इमेजिन करो अगर AMC नहीं रहा तो, और मैं HNI है, मैं तुमको बोलूँगा प्रिंटिंग प्रेस में जाके मेरे दोस्त को बोलूँगा एक काम करना यार 1000 यूनिट प्रिंट करके देना मुझे, तुमको आके बेच दूंगा. एंड गेस व्हाट, देयर इज नथिंग विच इज बैकिंग दिस इंस्ट्रूमेंट. फ्रॉड हो जाएगा ना. ऐसा फ्रॉड ना हो, क्योंकि द वैल्यू ऑफ ETF $100 इज बेस्ड ऑन द वैल्यू ऑफ बास्केट. तो बास्केट का एग्जिस्टेंस होना जरूरी है ना. तो ये चीज कौन मॉनिटर करेगा? AMC करेगा मॉनिटर. करके AMC का स्ट्रक्चर होना, AMC का स्ट्रक्चर में होना जरूरी है. समझा? बदले में वो फीस चार्ज करता है ETF ऑथराइज पार्टिसिपेंट को. अभी सवाल ये, ऑथराइज पार्टिसिपेंट को क्या मिलता है? देख, फंड मैनेजर तो फीस चार्ज कर लेता है, पैसा मिल जाता है उसको. ऑथराइज पार्टिसिपेंट तो फी भी चार्ज नहीं कर पाएगा, तो उसको क्या मिलता है? ये सवाल का जवाब तुमको देता हूं मैं. Let's say for example, you look at the diagram over here, which is screenshot जिसका मैंने लिया है. Let's say for example the NAV can I say the if NAV is 100, the value of the basket will be 1 lakh. बराबर ना? I mean, given there are 1000 units, बराबर है. And if the NAV is, let's say for example 200, can I say the value of the basket will be 2 lakhs? And vice versa. Are you getting are you understanding that NAV and basket value will be kind of connected to each other? But यार मार्केट प्राइस का बात करते हैं रे. सेकेंडरी मार्केट में कहाँ पे? यहाँ पे. जब इन्वेस्टर्स आपस में बाय सेल कर रहे हैं तो डिमांड सप्लाई की वजह से कैन आई से फॉर फ्यू मोमेंट्स एट लीस्ट द मार्केट प्राइस कुड बी डिफरेंट देन द NAV बिकॉज ऑफ डिमांड एंड सप्लाई. नहीं हो सकता है ना. सो देन कैन आई से देयर कुड बी अ सिचुएशन वेयर NAV होना चाहिए 100, लेकिन मार्केट प्राइस जो है ना, कौन सा कलर लो, द मार्केट प्राइस लेट्स से इज 102. व्हाट विल यू डू इफ यू वर द ऑथराइज्ड पार्टिसिपेंट इन दिस केस? बताओ. क्या कर रहे हो यार? तुम लोग अपने जेब से 1 लाख और निकालोगे, एक और बास्केट बनाओगे और 1000 यूनिट तुमको मिलेगा. एंड गेस व्हाट, द वैल्यू ऑफ दिस 1000 यूनिट, एडिशनल 1000 यूनिट इज 100, बट यू विल देन सेल इट एट 102 and 2 rupees is your profit. And that is why authorized participants are doing this, everything from their own pocket. 2 rupees per unit, $2, whatever it is. Now here's what happens later in the next moment itself. The supply of ETF unit in the secondary market, red color circle, increases as against the demand, and that's why the market price of that ETF unit from 102 will become 101, from 101 will become $100, and that's why they say, there's a statement in a book which says that the market price of ETF is typically equal to NAV. It is because of this arbitrage, free ka profit, riskless profit. It is because of this which ensures that market price is equal to NAV. Are you getting it? And why does authorized participant do all these? Because they want to make profit. समझा? And last question का आंसर यार सिंपल है ना. म्यूचुअल फंड में द फंड इज आंसरेबल टू द इन्वेस्टर. उसका पैसा लिया है तो उसको इन्वेस्टर के साथ मीटिंग करना पड़ता है, डिस्क्लोजर्स देना पड़ता है, ब्रोशर्स प्रिंट करके देना पड़ता है, रेगुलेटर्स के साथ सब कुछ फाइलिंग करना पड़ता है. पैसा लगता है उसके लिए. कहाँ से आएगा? इन्वेस्टर से लेगा ना. वहाँ पे फीस ज़्यादा होता है. पर ऑथोराइज पार्टिसिपेंट यहाँ पे तो खुद का पैसा लगा रहा है बास्केट के अंदर, तो उसको तो किसी को जवाब देने का जरूरत ही नहीं है. उसको खाली AMC को फीस देने का है. तो डोंट यू थिंक ETF इज मोर चीपर टू द इन्वेस्टर एज कंपेयर टू दिस? एंड दैट इज वाई ETF आर पॉपुलर. तुम अगर ये स्ट्रक्चर समझ जाओगे ना तो बाकी जो भी लिटरेचर तुमको इंटरनेट में मिले सब समझ में आ जाएगा. स्ट्रक्चर समझो. आर यू गेटिंग इट? So to conclude, ETFs are like closed-ended mutual funds because they are bought and sold in the secondary market. But the interesting part is market price over here is close to NAV because of this arbitrage, and they are cheaper as compared to closed-ended mutual funds. Got it? So then we are done with ETF.